Hello, everybody. How's it going? It's me, Krendor, and we got more big Seraphon news today. More model reworks, and this one definitely needed it. A new Skink Starseer. So let's dive right in here and read about what we're getting. Skink Starseers are cold-blooded clairvoyants who use the heavens to guide the Seraphon in battle. Here at Warhammer Community, our sacred whatever, doesn't matter. While these sagacious Slan Star Masters spend their lives unpacking and executing complex cosmic plans of the Old Ones, the quotidian matters of Seraphon society fall to skink scholars and priests who are in turn led by shrewd Skink Starseers. So here it is. Here's the new Skink Starseer model, and I think it looks pretty cool. I'm also comparing it to the previous model that is fine cast, annoying to build. I built one. It's not a fun model to build, and just like kind of really weird and wonky, as are most of the old fine cast Seraphon models. It says, "Don't let small size fool you. These reptilian." I can't even read. Don't let the small size of these reptilian rectors fool you. Skink Starseers are second only to Slan in their mastery of the arcane powers. I can't read. I'm so excited. Much like their Sicilian commanders, Skink Starseers float in the battle on Arcanite palanquins, which conduct thaumaturgical energy and boost the wizard's powers. Oh my god, they're like tongue-twisting me and throwing thaumaturgical in here. Utilizing astronomical tools, orbs of pure star glass, and their thrones' inbuilt days, they read the constellations to provide celestial guidance to Seraphon armies. So I actually really like this. It's got that, kind of ancient Aztec, modern, futuristic vibe, which is the whole Seraphon thing. I really like the way the throne looks. It really looks cool. I had a feeling they were going to redo the Skink Starseer because they redid the Slan, and, after you redo the Slan, I was like, they might as well just redo the Starseer as well. It's another old fine cast throne model. So I was like, they're already pumping out all these old models on thrones, right? They did Lord Kroak, then a Slan, now this. It makes sense. But continuing on, we have some rules for the Slan, or the Skink Starseer. I swear to God, I can't read today. I can never read, but today especially. Once per battle in the hero phase, these heavenly hieromancers can provide the vital information by choosing to scry the stars, drawing on knowledge snatched from the Empyrean expanse. They roll a number of dice equal to the current battle round, with each roll of 2 or more blessing a unit with a 5+ ward. That's pretty good. That's, in fact, very good, which is why it's only once per battle. And the fact that it lasts till your next hero phase is actually really nice. That's, in my previous video talking about things I like about Age of Sigmar. I'll put a link up there if you missed it. This is actually a reason almost to not take a double turn, which is actually pretty big, because you're like, oh, I want my 5+ ward to kind of last, right? So you're like, you know what? Go ahead and hit me, opponent, because I'm going to still have my 5+ ward, right? I'm essentially Nurgle at this point, right? Now, we don't know a lot of the war scrolls, the saves, the abilities, the point, like whatever it might be, right? But still, having a 5+ ward is massive. Like, again, Nurgle have this, and it makes them extremely resilient. The old amulet that used to give you a 5+ ward as an artifact used to be so broken because of how strong it was, you just gave it to a person. And this is literally, like, battle round 3, you give 3 units a 5+ ward. Now, I will say, it's on a 2+, so I know for a fact I'm going to roll at least one in there. But still, if you start, maybe you do this in round 4 when it's getting really heated, or round 3 or 4, right? When you're like, who knows what's going on. But at the same time, a lot of games can be over by round 3 or 4. So maybe it's like round 1 or 2. I'd say round 2 or 3 is probably the time you're going to use this, right? Because if you give 2 units, you really want to have 5+ wards, a 5+ ward, that's going to, be massive for keeping them alive. In fact, you can give this guy a 5+ ward. He might already have a 5+ ward. We don't actually know his war scroll. That's why a lot of these times they tell us the rules. It's like, oh, wow, he can do this thing. And you're like, yeah, but, how many points is he? What's his war scroll? Like, there's so many other factors going into this, right? So I wanted to compare it to the current Skink Starseer War Scroll. So we currently have a 5-inch move, 5 wounds, 5 up save, and 6 bravery on the Skink Starseer. So that's pretty bad. Like, only moving 5 inches it's bottom of the barrel. You're only moving faster than like the Fire Slayers at that point. You got a 5 up save, which is also bad. 6 bravery is bad because if you want to heal this guy up, you have to roll below or equal to the bravery, and rolling a higher than a 6 is probably going to happen. And then 5 wounds, you're probably going to die pretty fast. So I would assume if I had to redesign this guy in a new Seraphon book like they're doing, I would say he's probably going to have in this like throne, probably like 7-inch move, 6 or 7-inch move. I'm going to go ahead and say he's got a 4-up save. I think they're going to give him a 5-up ward. I think he's going to have a 4-up save with a 5-up ward. And then he like also hands out 5-up wards is like his thing, I would imagine. And then they probably give him like a lot higher. They might even just give him like 9 or 10 bravery, I think. I mean, you know, why did they give him 6 bravery? Like he's not like some random skink, right? Like this dude is literally a skink mage. Like he's one of the highest, smartest skinks around. Why would he be afraid? He literally like looking into the stars and seeing the future. Like he should be a 10. Honestly, I'd say he should be a 10. And then wounds, I think they give him like 6 wounds. I think they bump him up 1 wound because, I mean, dude's literally on a throne, man. So that's how I would change him. That's what I think they would do. And currently he's 150 points. I would need to see his new War Scroll stuff before I gave him points. But he's got an 18-inch range, 2 attacks, 3x3 -1 D3 damage. Neat. They'll probably do something similar. And then his melee is 2 attacks, 2-inch range, 4x3 -1 D3. I think they probably just give him a similar thing, but maybe it's like 2 attacks, 3x3 -1 D3 damage or something. I don't know. Or maybe even just flat 2 damage. They probably just changed both those to like flat 2. But his abilities is the main thing. Like you usually don't want to attack with this guy. At the start of your hero phase, on a 4-up, you get a command point. That's like a thing all the slaying and everybody gets. That would be nice to keep. It's really nice having a bunch of command points. I don't know if they would keep it or what. They have, at the start of the charge phase, you can pick a friendly Seraphon unit within 12 and give it a 3d6 charge, and it can charge from 18 instead of a 12-inch 2d6. That is very good. That's like one of the reasons you bring this guy in an army, probably, because you want a 3d6 charge. I mean, it's a reason people bring Kragnos, and he's like 700 and something points, right? I mean, it's really good, especially if they're getting, you know, new Skink Cavalry, new, like maybe they're getting new Saurus Knights. We don't know yet. But, you know, there could be a lot of units. But at the same time, this could be completely gone in the new book. This is a common thing I see with a lot of people making new book assumptions or seeing War Scrolls. They're like, oh, this would be really good in the current army. And it's like, yeah, but this isn't the current army. The entire book's getting reworked, right? Like a lot of people like, oh, I saw this with like Gits and Beast of Chaos. People are like, how's this going to work with the Gits thing? And it's like, well, it turns out they completely remove that thing, or like they completely change that thing, right? So you got to take these things with a grain of salt. If I had to say if this is going to be in the book still, I don't think it will. Maybe it would be a spell. Maybe it'd be, who knows, right? I honestly don't know. I don't think they're going to let him have a 3d6 charge. It seems like he's going to be more of a buff piece because already, right, he's handing out these 5-up wards. So it appears he's like this kind of ward master, right? He's like, you have a ward and you have a ward. So I would imagine he's going to be more of a support slan. Not slan, but, you know, mage. Right now he casts 1 spell and unbinds 1 spell. Probably still will. And then he has a spell that's casting value 7, range 18. You can either add 1 to your save rolls for a unit or subtract 1 for save rolls for other unit. So it's just, you know, your enemies get -1 to save, you get +1 to save. I could see that staying around because that would kind of tie in with his ward saves, right? Like this dude's pretty much I'm going to make sure my allies live and my opponents die easier. That seems like what it seems to be, which I guess the 3d6 charge could tie into that It would be cool if they kept it, but they might just swap that out for something else. That might even be what this is replacing. Like, who knows, right? I don't know, but... And then it also ties into, like, the Skink Starseer lore. We don't know the entire Skink lore. A lot of times they've, like, pruned down the spells, so the Skinks might only have, like, 4 spells now. They might have lore shared with the Slan. Like, we don't know. There's so many different things. But one thing is for sure, and that is this model is new, and it is plastic, and thank God it is, because the old one is bad. Also, one thing I noticed is you can build him 2 separate ways. So if you look here, he's kind of sitting in his throne with the orb in his hand, like looking at it, pondering into it, or peering into it, I guess it would be, being like, the future. And then in this one, he's standing up, and he's like, and he's like hovering over the orb, kind of reading it, which I think is really cool. I like that you can build him 2 different ways. That seems like a really nice feature they're doing with a lot of new kits, is giving you more customization that isn't like swap his head out, right? It seems like you have like different positions for them sitting on the throne and different types of things, which is really cool. Really big fan of that. And I mean, I'm just a fan of entire new model ranges for Seraphon. I thought we were getting like 3 new models in a book, and here we are with like an entire range refresh at this point, right? Like, my God, Astrolith Bear, Skink Starseer, Slan, new cavalry, Saurus warriors, the salamanders, probably Razordons. I would imagine that's like a dual kit or something. And then there's more to come, right? Who knows if it's Saurus Knights? Who knows if it's a new monster or a new dinosaur? New heroes, new foot hero, like maybe the Sunblood gets reworked. At this point, like it feels like they're just redoing the entire Finecast. Like if it's made a Finecast right now, it's probably getting redone. And then maybe a couple more things. But they're going all out. And I love it. I'm so excited. I'm excited for this. I'm excited for the new book. Let me know what you think down in the comments section below. I'm pumped, man. Give me more lizards. Okay? Okay. See ya.